Welcome to the Men of Iron podcast, equipping men for their mentorship journey. The purpose of the podcast is to provide you with discussion and practical advice to help you grow in your faith, family, friends, fitness, and finances. Thanks for listening.
Welcome to the Men of Iron podcast. Steve and Justin back live from Mannheim, PA. What's going on, J-Dub?
It's Christmas time, man.
Hey, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and all your family.
Merry Christmas to you and your kin.
Yeah, oh, that's good. We should speak in just Christmas song lyrics.
I like that. Can we do that the whole podcast?
It would be really annoying, but a lot of fun.
That doesn't sound fun.
No.
That probably would be. We should actually just watch Family Stone and have like a reaction video.
You know what? That is the greatest Christmas movie of all time.
Has Linda ever heard of Family Stone?
Linda, have you ever heard of Family Stone?
She has no clue. See, nobody's ever heard of it.
Everyone go online, find Family Stone. It's a great movie. It's one of my favorite Christmas movies of all time.
Is it a Hallmark movie?
No.
It's gotta be.
No, it's got some great, there's some actors.
Linda's gonna watch it tonight.
All right, keep going. I'm going to look this up here.
All right, well, anyway, it is Christmas time coming up this Wednesday. It's an exciting time of year. Hopefully your shopping is done. Is your shopping done?
I haven't started yet.
All right, he hasn't started yet. Well, you got, today and tomorrow, and then basically that's it.
Yeah.
So you better get on it.
Okay, I'm coming back to Family Stone.
All right, here we go.
Listen to this dynamite cast. Sarah Jessica Parker, Rachel McAdams, Diane Keaton, Dermot Mulroney, Luke Wilson, Claire Danes, Craig T. Nelson. I mean, do I have to keep going? This is a great. It's such a good movie. Just check it out.
Just check it out. Where can people find it? Netflix?
I think maybe.
All right.
Just look it up. Someone's got it somewhere. If not, borrow. I've got it on DVD. You can borrow it from my house.
Even better. Well, point being, it's Christmas week, so Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas to everyone out there. On that note, let's celebrate the wins. What do you got for us?
Well, I'll go back. This is a little bit ago here, but this is our transition from Thanksgiving to Christmas. I'll share our family tradition in our house. We do typically, and it didn't work out this year quite this schedule, but the day after Thanksgiving, we go and get our Christmas tree, a live Christmas tree. Although I guess technically dead because we cut it down.
You just cut its like heart and soul.
Dead. So a dead live Christmas tree. Decorate it, but then we do we call them like stones of remembrance, where we have these
back to Family Stones.
That's right. It just comes back to Family Stone. These smooth stones that we write one thing that we're thankful for from the past year. And then we'll write our name and the date and the year, so that we now we're starting to collect them, and we first read them from years back. So it's kind of fun to go, oh yeah, that's right, and so we read them off, share our stone for this year. We do communion together as a family, just to kind of look ahead. Okay, remembering God's gifts. And again, we do it kind of like a fun, we did sparkling cider and a quarter of a donut for communion this year. And then we usually read our first, Advent devotional. Awesome. And then we watch it wasn't our first Christmas movie of the season, but typically then we do, we put on a fire. It's usually, late night. Watch some Christmas movies. So that was awesome. Was fun.
I love tradition, so I think that's really cool. I know you had shared the whole kind of the remembrance thing with the stones to me before. I just think it's a cool idea. I mean, I think about 10, 15 years from now, your kids and even you and Jenna as well being able to look back at all those things that you've been thankful for and things you've remembered over the years. So I think it's pretty cool.
And I'll say I didn't make it up. It's from, is it Judges or Joshua? I forget which. They cross the river, and God says, "Hey, go take stones from the middle of the river and build this altar. Remember whenever you pass, and whenever your kids see that pile of stones, they'll go, what is that pile of stones about? Wow. It's what God has done, and I think that's important to do personally with your family. How do you stake something in the ground to remember what God has done?
That's awesome, man. Love that. For me, thinking about celebrating the wins recently, a couple weeks ago, my dad had his 67th birthday.
Wow.
So just a little backstory. My dad is going through some serious health issues over the last year and a half, 2 years, dealing with some strokes and seizures and other things like that. So he's currently in an assisted living facility. Um, so obviously that's been tough for our family and for him as well. So he doesn't get to, we get in there pretty frequently as siblings, but for all of us to be in together at the same time doesn't happen as much. So we make sure to make it a priority around holidays and birthdays and stuff. So a couple weeks ago, on the day of his birthday, we all went in, siblings, grandkids, significant others, and took some cupcakes and presents, and spent a couple hours with him and got to celebrate him, and he just had a huge smile on his face.
Awesome.
So
that's cool.
So it was awesome, man.
You're packed in the room, right?
No, that was for Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
So that was a month ago. So yeah, for his birthday, we actually got out into an open space.
Nice.
And
That's good.
had a little room to breathe. So it was a great night. So J-Dub, today we are talking about creating agendas for your meetings. So,
exciting.
Yeah, exciting stuff. Don't fade out on us yet.
Yeah.
So this is obviously, we gear these podcasts here for season 2 for mentors and proteges who are going through Men of Iron, and I think honestly and practically you can, any guy out there, even if you're not going through the ministry, through the program, if you're meeting with a mentor, or you can use a lot of this stuff in the workplace as well. So I think this advice, it doesn't just, if you're not a mentor, protege, and Men of Iron, doesn't mean turn it off and stop listening. Yeah. We hope this advice can help you as well. So Men of Iron, Strong27 program, we always talk about, and we talk about this in trainings, we talk about this in the language, anytime we're talking about Strong27, it's protege driven. What does that mean? How would you describe kind of this protege driven idea for Strong27 mentorships?
Yeah, and I think it's unique, and I've found this to be the case, and my mentor this past year shared this from his experience going through Strong27. He's like, it was really interesting to go through Strong27's model, where when I've discipled or mentored someone, it's usually mentor-driven, where I'm sharing, I'm speaking a lot, I'm giving advice and guidance, versus where this is protege-driven, where the guy being who's driving things is the one that's growing, the student, if you will. Their incentive and their motivation and their drive is what is pushing the growth. And then for one thing, I think we've seen that to be more successful because the protege, you're owning it more. It's not put on you from outside of, this guy is telling me to do this, or this, I'm just hearing and listening. It's much more personal and owned by the protege. And so my mentor he was like, I was surprised how little I was talking through the past year, but how much growth was happening as a result, because the protege was the one that was bringing the meat. Yep. And he was there certainly to guide and ask questions and still have a very significant role as a mentor. Yeah. But protege driven means that they're the ones coming with the juice, coming with the meat. Yeah. Hey, this is where God is leading. This is what I need to be doing, setting goals, things like that.
Yeah, because I think for a lot of people, when you think of kind of mentor, protege, mentorship relationship, you think of a guy older and wiser than you just pouring into you, and you basically sit there and learn from him, which is obviously part of the equation. But for Strong27, the protege driven mentorship means you're coming to each meeting prepared with a game plan, and you're leading. You're leading the conversation and kind of leading the ship, and the mentor is there to kind of guide you and make sure you're being held accountable for things the goals you're setting, the things you say you're gonna do. So I love that aspect of Strong27 and how we are so focused on making sure it's a protege driven mentorship, and kind of talking about creating agendas for your meetings. We just want to start with what is an agenda and why do I need them? And kind of going back to what I was just talking about, I think an agenda it's a game plan, not only for each meeting that you're sitting down across from your mentor, but it's a game plan for the entire year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think your goals are driving success for the whole year. What are your goals? What are you committing to, and how do you get there? And your meetings are a big part of that success and getting to that point. and the agendas are going to help you to succeed in those meetings. So that it's like the steps of success for your meetings, which build into your goals, and ultimately your success does have a lot to do with making agendas an important part of your rhythm.
Right. We always talk about, when we talk about the importance of agendas, at our Strong 27 trainings, we talk about the importance of kind of having a plan at each meeting about what's being discussed. You know, the goals you're setting, the things you're struggling with, the book of the Bible or resource that you're reading through, instead of just showing up. And a lot of times your mentor is a good friend, or he becomes a good friend, and you can easily get wrapped up in talking sports and stuff like that. So I think it helps you kind of stick to the script, so to say, and really talk about what's important and what's going to help drive this mentorship forward. So yeah, just talking about kind of the current agenda layout for this beauty right here. If you're watching on video, we got the mentorship guide. What do you think?
Beautiful. It's
Lovely.
if you're not seeing it, you need to go on our menofiron.org/shop.
Yeah, I like that plug.
Yeah,
Nice.
and just at least look at it. And if you're not tempted to buy it, then there's something wrong.
Or stop by the office if you're in the Manheim area, and we'll let you take a look
Yeah.
at it, and maybe even.
It's hardcover. It's bound. It's beautiful. It's color pages. It's just
Gorgeous.
everything.
I was about to say we might even give you one, but then Joel Kiefer would just cringe.
Oh yeah, no.
There's operations. He's a stickler, man.
Stingy about
Probably
money.
charge you $200 for it.
But in there, and we'll get to the practical on the other side of the break here. But we have a plan in there, an agenda an agenda template that's already in there. And I don't know if you want to bust that out now or just talk on the other side.
Yeah, I was just gonna briefly talk about kind of the agenda, but yeah, this mentorship guide, we kind of had a reboot this year, just making it a better overall design, feel, look to it. Something guys are proud to carry around, and really represents our brand well. But more importantly, is a great tool for mentors and proteges in their mentorship, and we really believe that this is a phenomenal tool for mentorships
to keep things intentional. I mean, that ultimately that's the answer. Why agendas, and why even just why Strong 27? It helps men to be intentional and focused on growth, because sometimes we can go, hey, I want to grow, but I don't know how. I don't have a game plan. This helps you to stay focused and intentional on the growth that God's calling you to.
Yep.
And so it's an incredibly practical support and resource to getting that growth started.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we will dive into kind of some practical advice to creating agendas, and take a little bit deeper look into this book as well on the other side.
Cool.
All right, J-Dub. Hey guys, we want to take a minute to thank our friends at Miller's Twist for sponsoring this episode. Miller's Twist is located at Reading Terminal Market in downtown Philadelphia, one of America's largest and oldest public markets. Miller's Twist soft pretzels are the soft, buttery, amish-style pretzels that will keep you coming back for more. Voted best soft pretzel in Philly, Miller's Twist also serves the Philly cheesesteak pretzel log, breakfast and lunch items, ice cream, and much more. Go to millerstwist.com for the full menu.
Hey, Men of Iron mentors and proteges, it's Garrett Barbush here with your Mentoring Minute. I want to encourage everybody in this topic or this area of proteges creating agendas for your meetings. I'm just a huge proponent of having a consistent agenda. It doesn't mean that you won't have things that are going to be new and fresh to add to that, but having a consistent agenda, the same 3-4 things that are going to be consistent for every meeting, it will go such a long way for all of the mentorships within Men of Iron, within Strong 27. It will go such a long way to have a plan. Without a plan, we plan to fail. And so that is my encouragement to everybody is proteges, create those agendas, know what you're bringing to the table for your mentor, share that with him ahead of time. It can be in a text message, it can be in an email, it can be whatever. But have a plan so that you can succeed within your mentorships. Have a great day.
All right, we are back for part 2, talking about creating agendas in your mentorship. So we kind of talked on the other side of the break that about kind of diving in deeper to this book, and like we said, this is the mentorship guide, brand new design and layout for this year. We hope that it's really helping guys. We believe it's a really great and valuable tool for mentors and proteges. And like talking about agendas and the importance of them, we talked about providing a game plan and kind of almost like a script for your meetings. The awesome part about this is this mentorship guide is there's 24 meetings in here. So, we in Strong27, we encourage 2 meetings a month. So that's 24 meetings in a year. So you got an agenda and a layout for, all 24 meetings in this book, which I just think is such a powerful tool and a helpful tool for guys. And if you open it up to here, we'll open up to one of the agendas. And obviously start off with prayer. That's a very important component to any meeting. Any mentorship is prayer. And then we kind of start up with follow-up items. So what are the things over the last 2 weeks since you last met? What are the things you were working on, things you were, your mentor's holding you accountable to? Any, struggles or wins that kind of you experienced in the last 2 weeks? And then it goes into 5F goals. So we in our mentorships, Strong27, we encourage guys to be setting those 90-day 5F goals, faith for the first 90 days, family, friends, fitness, finances. So take time to review those goals and kind of rate yourself. Obviously, if you're listening, you won't be able to see this, but 1 through 5. So how did you, on reading your Bible every morning at 5 a.m. for your faith goal, how did you rate yourself in the last 2 weeks from 1 to 5? So it's just a great opportunity for discussion, for the mentor to really see, like, where's my protege at? How's he doing? Where's some areas I can help him in and encourage him in? And then reflection and mentorship is the next piece of that, and that's what are you guys reading? Are you going through the book of John? Are you going through the book of Psalms? Are you reading the 20 Lessons That Build a Man's Faith book? So just an opportunity to talk about that, which I think is an important component to your mentorship. And then the last part is items for your next meeting, and then closing up with prayer. So I think the layout is simple, like we talked about. I think it's a great tool for proteges and mentors. Yeah. Any practical advice, J-Dub, that you can give to the protege out there, even the mentor or listener out there, about creating agendas and why it's so important?
Yeah, again, it keeps you focused and intentional on your time, so that you are using. We don't have a lot of time because we get sometime guys going, oh, this sounds cool, but I don't have time for to do mentorship and meet twice a month. Well, especially if you're just him hauling around stuff and talking about how your football team lost and da-da-da. I mean, like, guys are good at talking about a lot of other things that sometimes maybe don't matter as much. And I think if you going, hey, listen, we're committing to meeting. Maybe your meeting, we suggest like an hour 15. Like, if you can you carve out 2.5 hours in your month to grow in your faith, or pour into another guy to help him grow in his faith? But to do that well, stay on track. Make an agenda that helps to keep things intentional. Use that hour and 15 really effectively. And so it just keeps you grounded. It keeps you anchored and focused on what you're doing. It's accountability as well. Again, very practical. Proteges, fill out your, like, what things on your agenda do you want to make sure you hit with your mentor? Send that over to him at least 24 hours ahead of time. Because then you give your mentor a chance to pray through and prepare. And so again, like, and I've got different proteges that have done a different thing, and even myself, like, I often just have send a text message. Hey, here's the 4 items. Send it. Text your mentor. Some guys like to take the book and write out in the template, hey, these are the things I want to cover. Take a screenshot, take a picture of it, shoot it over to your mentor. Protege, it's just so important. You prepare by thinking through where you're at, filling out your 5F goal assessment. What are we covering? And then send it to your mentor. And then mentor, take a look through those things. What is the Lord speaking to you about what you can ask? What are those important questions that you can bring to the table when you guys meet? What are some verses that come to mind? What's the experience? You prepare too. Both mentor and protege can prepare well through this tool. So
yeah, it's really good. I think we kind of missed that in the beginning part of this conversation, but it's important, and we preach this in our trainings, is 24 hours. Make sure you're sending proteges. Make sure you're sending your mentor the agenda 24 hours before your meeting, because that's such a great point, Justin. It gives the mentor time to prepare as well. My protege, he typically sends, he'll write it out in the mentorship guide, take a picture of it, and send it over to me the day before we meet. And yeah, it's a great opportunity for the mentor to prepare as well. And I think, like, anything we're doing in life, God honors preparation. He honors intentionality. He honors when you're making plans and you're being intentional with what you do. So I mean, yeah, don't waste your time. Don't waste the mentor's time by not being intentional in your mentorship, because I guarantee you, if you're filling out these agendas every meeting and you're being intentional about what you're talking about, the goals you're setting, the things you're reading through, your mentorship is going to be a success and you're going to grow.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's awesome, man. So we got a question from Instagram about creating agendas. What if my protege isn't creating an agenda? And you kind of touched on that a little bit about guys not creating agendas.
Yeah, it happens.
Kick them to the curb. No.
Yeah, I think you just you explain this whole idea to them and say, hey, listen, for us to utilize our time effectively, for you to grow more effectively, spend time creating this agenda. And again, it can be as simple as 4 quick bullet points in a text message. It does not have to be all out. Like, if it starts small and make that small step, and I think you'll see a lot of intentionality that comes from it. So mentor, have that conversation.
Yeah, don't overcomplicate it. Like, we create, we have this template in here as a guide and as a tool for guys, but I mean, and we kind of, we want you to follow this process, but yeah, don't overcomplicate it. Like, yeah, send your mentor the 4 things you guys are going to discuss or whatever it may be, and come prepared to the meeting.
Yeah,
it's awesome. We kind of discussed this as a team prior to filming, and we were talking about this question here: what if my protege isn't creating an agenda? And Garrett mentioned that one of his mentors, he would not meet with him if he didn't send him an agenda 24 hours prior. I mean, so I love that, man. That's great.
If you're in that spot and you're like, listen, my protege needs some tough love, I mean, hold him to it. Are you committed to this or not?
Yeah.
And part of that is, it's very simple. It's not complicated to write down some thoughts as to what you want to meet about. So hold them to it. Hey, we're not going to meet if you don't send things.
Right. And time is valuable. Like we just talked about. Like, don't waste your mentor's time.
Yeah.
Like, his time is valuable. He's giving up time with family or whatever it may be to mentor you and to pour into you. So honor that time.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I think that
wraps it up.
I think that wraps it up.
That's the last agenda item on our agenda.
That's the last bullet point on our podcast agenda. So yeah, if you check out the Men of Iron podcast on Apple Podcasts, we would love if you would hit the subscribe button and leave a 5-star review, or 4.
All right.
Yeah, but anyway, leaving a review, it gives us more visibility, and we just want to keep being in your ears and
helping out. Yeah.
Well, Merry Christmas to you, Justin. And
Merry
to the
Christmas.
family. Ho, ho, ho. I hope you guys have an awesome Christmas.
Thanks. You too.
It's fun and restful and relaxing. And
happy birthday, Jesus.
Happy birthday, Jesus. Where's the cake?
Yeah.
We should have a cake. Shouldn't we?
Should. Yeah.
Anyway, Merry Christmas to our listeners and viewers out there. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you in 2020.
Thanks for listening to the Men of Iron podcast. To get started in a one-to-one or microgroup mentorship, go to menofiron.org.